What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Outlier podcast, episode number 8. We're gonna jump right into it, but before we get into the main topic, we're gonna start with the "Would you rather" because I want to reward the fact that you guys are commenting first. So this one comes from Esteban, one of my coworkers. Great guy, by the way. He talks very nicely about you.
Oh, I appreciate it. He watches the podcast, obviously, right?
Yeah, he's watched every episode actually.
Thanks for watching the podcast, bro. We appreciate you.
All right, so his "Would you rather" is: Would you rather get rich by hard work or through winning the lottery?
Easy. Hard work, bro.
But I think that means through hard work, it's gonna take you years and years.
Yeah, that's
versus the lottery, you buy the ticket today, you find out by the end of this week you're a multimillionaire.
So, for those that don't know, I write a bunch of like quotes and slogans and I put them on Twitter. But one of the ones that I put recently, and I'm going to look it up here that way I don't butcher the the actual wording of my quote. Let me see.
So your choice is hard work.
Hard work, 100%. I'll tell you why right now. But if you want, you can put yours.
Um, for me, I would say hard work, but I think the lottery wouldn't be too bad because that's not to say if you went through the lottery you can't put in hard work after that. You know, it just means you get it quick. You know, it's instant. I don't know. I think I would do it instant just so I have money now and I could start investing now and
Nah.
But
Oh, okay.
hard work is for sure much more rewarding, fulfilling. So I think
Here's the
everyone
thing, bro.
would choose that.
You believe that you have this immense sense of value about yourself. Like you say you don't have confidence, and to a degree maybe you don't in certain aspects, but I believe that you think that you're very capable of becoming successful if you got the correct limelight, right? But that's not to say that others think of you that way. So by you winning the lottery, you think in your head that you're capable of making that a greater abundance. But who's to say that you're not, right? So the quote that I wrote is: the journey makes sure that you're not putting pennies in the quarter slot, and the machine is your game. So the process to becoming rich is making sure that you understand the value and the cost that it took to get there. That does two things. One, it creates again that value of, damn, it took a lot of work to get here. So you value it more, right? And then two, you understand the cost that it takes to not only remain there, but to stay at the top of your game. You continue to go because it's like, dude, do you know where I came from? Like I came from the rags. You know what I mean? I don't want to go back to there. I don't want to go back to living paycheck to paycheck. I don't want to go back to having to figure out in the extremist sense. I don't want to go back to figure out where I'm going to get my next meal. I don't want to go back to that. I understand how that feels, and I don't want to get back to that. So that's why I would choose hard work. You understand the value. You understand what it takes.
Yeah, that you know what? You're right. I didn't think about that. That does make a lot of sense. You would value your dollar much more if you earned it yourself, and it would mean that much more to you for sure.
And you'd probably respect people more too. That grind like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but man, I love winning shit because I don't usually win stuff like when I enter for raffles or something. Like I never win. So if I were to win, that would be fucking awesome. So I think that's why the lottery appeals to me.
What would you do with that money, real quick? Like just try to be.
If I won a few million, I would buy. Well, it depends how much, but I would buy a couple houses for sure. Because
for real estate purposes or just for yourself?
Yeah, real estate. I would probably just still live at home, but rent those houses out and let them pay themselves.
Yeah,
pack a bunch of Mexicans in there, you know. I could say that I'm Mexican.
Yeah,
but yeah, I mean, I would invest it. You know, that's what I would do.
I think everybody would like to say that they would invest it.
Nah, I feel like most people would be like, oh, I'd get this car, you know. But you and I had talked about that. It's once because you're about to get a car tomorrow, right? Or a truck.
Hopefully,
Yeah.
hopefully, yeah.
So we talked about this is that new car feeling, that new car smell doesn't last forever, and
Yeah.
within a month you're just driving the car, not even thinking about it twice. You
Yeah.
know?
And you're thinking about the next car, or damn, you're driving right next to a Lambo. It's like, I wish I had that
Yeah,
car. You know.
it's a never ending cycle of not being fulfilled with what you have. You know, and that
Uh-huh.
there will always be something bigger and greater. So that's not a good way to you know.
I agree. I feel like we could have a whole conversation about
Yeah,
what the
yeah,
hell
yeah.
we're just
So
talking about, but
all
for
right,
the sake of the topics, I think we will stop it there.
yeah, so the main topic we're going to be talking about is judging a book by its cover. Should you judge a book by its cover? And if so, I think your opinion on is that you should, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I disagree with you. I don't think you should judge a book by its cover, but go ahead and tell us why you think you should.
Yeah. So basically, I've had this conversation on my podcast. So if y'all are interested, go follow the Common Podcast on YouTube, Spotify, and also Instagram. But I have a more in-depth podcast about this, about an hour and a half. But I believe that trying to conclude the whole podcast is that you are better off judging a book by its cover rather than not. You're going to put yourself in better situations by using your natural instinct and that gut feeling of yours to know, okay, this is bad, this is right, this is wrong, this person is probably not the best influence, and this is based off of first impressions too.
Yeah.
Like you can already know, okay, this person, I can tell they're a little iffy, right? But somebody would say, don't judge a book by its cover, because that can be a very nice, genuine man. I understand that, but that person can also be a psychopath, or that person can also be narcissistic, or whatever it is. There are anomalies that are, there's people that seem very tyrannical and bad, but they're actually a very nice person. There are instances like that, but I think more often than not, people display who they are. They are a product of who they are. And we talked about this in our last podcast where we were talking about show me your friends and I'll show you your future. That's
Mm-hmm.
very much so in this instance too. You are the way you express yourself. What I wear, the way I present myself, the way I speak, the language, even the vocabulary I use is a representation of who I am deep down inside. So if I give you a bad first impression and you automatically judge me off my cover, is that so much your fault, or is that my fault for not presenting myself in a more welcoming, user-friendly way?
Yeah. No, yeah. I mean that makes sense to me, but I rather give people the benefit of the doubt and not just judge them by their exterior or their immediate actions. I rather let it sit for a while and be like, let's get to know this person a little bit more before I make such a quick assumption. You're more on the side of like trust your instinct and what you see is more than likely where you're gonna get, right? You believe in that? So if you
Yes, yeah.
yeah, I think it's the opposite because I don't know if this has to do with where I live or what. Maybe it's because you're in Texas and I'm in Cali. I'm around so many people that are tatted up, bald, look like cholos, or maybe they look like they're homeless, but they're actually not. Like that's a thing here. You'll run into so many people that look homeless and they're actually rich. Like that's a very common thing here, especially in LA. That's like they're like it's like fashion or something. I don't know, but that's very common. So I've kind of learned to expect the unexpected from looking at someone. If I see someone that looks like a meathead, you and I like to work out. If we see someone that's jacked, absolutely jacked, tattoos, and just this very intimidating type of physical appearance, that doesn't necessarily mean that they're gonna be this rough, evil person. Those people tend to be the ones that are actually more tender and more loving from my experiences. So that's why I don't like to judge people based off their looks or their exterior. You know?
Yeah. I don't think of people that look like that way. I think of them being a little bit more self-conscious, um, more aware with their body, maybe a little bit more flagrant than other people. especially if they're showing off their muscles and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I would say that. I guess that's a perception thing too. There's also what you stated is like the way of living is a completely different from LA and from where I live and stuff like that. But what I also think that you're speaking of too is like out of your own individual perspective, because you're a 6'4" male. You're not someone who I would think is like if I'm walking to a 6'4" guy, I'm not gonna like try to like freaking mess with him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So to speak. So you could say you're somewhat intimidating guy just based off of your height and your structure. You're not like you work out, right?
Uh-huh.
But let's say like you were with your mom or with a female and you saw a homeless guy, someone that looked raggedy. Would you recommend going to them and trusting them? And if they needed a ride, you would offer your hand out to them.
No. Yeah, see, I think there's a difference when you are gonna do something like a favor for someone. I don't think people just earn favors, like giving them a ride. Even if that person was well dressed and in a fucking suit and tie, I wouldn't trust them. That's just because that's different. I'm not going based off their looks. It's just that it's a stranger. The looks don't really have anything to do with it. So, I wouldn't give a ride to a homeless guy nor a businessman. So
Mm.
for me, it has nothing to do with the fact that the way they look or anything like that. It's just stranger danger. One of the first rules of growing up.
Yeah. So, like, what about like another instance? Would you just trust somebody who because and then my point what I'm trying to get across is then it doesn't really matter how I present myself then. Is what you're saying. Is that it doesn't matter how I display myself. I can go out. So everything that young individuals have been taught, make sure make sure you say yes sir, yes ma'am. Make sure you present yourself correctly. Make sure you respect your peers. Make sure that you present yourself, all these things, it doesn't matter basically. And all those attributes should be just discarded because it doesn't matter. People should respect me and learn to know who I am and who I am deep down inside.
No, I mean, I feel like it if people judge you and you're one of those people that like just doesn't give a fuck about your appearance or how you come across, then that's your fault and you can't really put the blame on other people for judging you, if that makes sense. But me
I
personally, I
agree.
don't I don't think you should. But if you do, I'm not gonna hold that against you. Who the yo daddy is now playing? That's my Steam is open. But yeah, I don't think that's
Wait,
something that should
so
that
you
you
see
should
what I'm
cry about.
saying? You see what I'm saying? So like if I present myself very poorly and I say, bro, why are you judging me? Like you should give me that job because I'm a very nice person inside, but I showed up to the job interview dressed like a piece of crap. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah, yeah, for sure. I mean, I get what you're saying in that sense, but I mean more in a personal way, more than a business or like a job. Obviously, I think there's a place and a time. I feel like if you're just being yourself though, out in public or in the comfort of your own home or whatever, I don't think there should be an issue with that. But
Hey,
obviously, there's a
I see
place
your
and
point.
time.
I see your point in that, but the fact is that we don't usually have a personal relationship with the majority of people that we come across with.
Yeah,
There's people that we just at glance see passing at the grocery store or on the street. And for those people, and that's majority of the people that you come in contact with, I think that you should judge a book by its cover. It's if I'm a husband and I have my children with me, my wife with me, I'm going to use in my head common sense that okay, that neighborhood's a terrible neighborhood. I can see, and I'm going to judge it by its cover because it looks raggedy. There's a bunch of homeless people. I don't want to live there. I want to live in a very nice fenced area where I know that my family's going to be safe when I'm out working.
yeah.
That for me is guarantees for the most part based off of instinct and judging a book by its cover that it's gonna be better off for my family.
Yeah, I mean, for sure it applies in some ways, but I think you're better off um giving things a benefit of a doubt rather than just judging it off its cover, you know? I think if you learn when not to judge a book by its cover, that would be the best because I agree with you, you know, you can't like for instance a neighborhood if it looks all beat up, it's most likely gonna have, you know, some crime, some
Yeah,
crackheads, thieves, whatever. It makes sense, right?
yeah.
But when it comes to humans though, I think humans are so complex that it's not that black and white. If you see someone that's you know, looking rough, that doesn't necessarily mean they're a bad person or gonna be a threat.
What is a neighborhood? A neighborhood is made up of people. Society is made up of people.
Yeah, but I think humans are for sure more complex than the neighborhood, don't
Oh,
you think?
I 100%. I don't make absolutes. I don't
Yeah.
make absolutes for that reason because I know there's instances where you shouldn't judge a book by its cover. I know that, but what I'm saying generally, I think
Do
that
you,
you're better off judging a book by its cover rather than not.
do you think generally people tend to be what they present?
I okay, that's a good question, and both of us don't know the answer to that. But what I do think is that you should aim to present yourself as you would like to be, um, perceived as.
Yeah.
If I want to be perceived as a gentleman, a professional, I need to look the par, right?
Yeah.
And so if I show up and I don't look to par, then I can't blame somebody for perceiving me as someone who's just a laid back person that doesn't care.
Yeah.
That's the way I see it.
No, yeah,
So,
that makes sense.
you know what I mean? And so, to your point, though, in a more personal setting, let's say we're at a party, right? We're at a party, it doesn't even have to be like alcohol or anything like that. Let's just say like a birthday party or whatever it is, a gathering rather. And I see somebody and they kind of like first instinct I'm like, oh, they seem kind of offish or whatever, and I hear them and the way they're speaking, and but I can relate in certain ways, and we become more personal if I figure it out, then okay, that's a little bit different. So in some cases I do agree with you that, like, you know what, you can't always judge a book by its cover, especially if they're going to be in your life. Let's say like a coworker, right? If you're going to see them every day, you kind of have to be,
You have to get to know more than
you have to
just
get to know them more.
yeah, yeah. But I mean, for me, it's worked out way better to just not judge a book by its cover because I find myself being wrong most of the time when I do judge by a book by its cover. So I like to give the benefit of the doubt just because of my experiences, you know. Um,
I see where you're coming from, but for you, you don't have a big social circle.
I don't. That's
You
very
know what?
true.
So it's like, are you really giving people the benefit of the doubt?
Yeah, I mean,
Because you're a pretty closed off person.
yeah, I am, but if you see where I work and you see my coworkers, like all the guys that I talk to, you would be like, you in a million years would, it makes no sense for you to hang out with these guys. Like you particularly if you see them. I mean, you've known some of my friends, right? You see them and we're like, you know, we have nothing in common. They're fucking lip rings and shit. You know what I mean? So it makes no sense. I there's one of my coworkers that never in a million years did I think I would get along with him. He's like this rock and roll guy, long fucking hair, tattoos everywhere, just dresses like in black, like wears these
Yeah.
chain wallets, you know, the ones that
Wallets.
hang.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm not gonna lie, I judged him by his cover. The first time I saw him, I was like, I'm probably not gonna get along with this guy. He doesn't seem like my type of dude. He seems like
Yeah.
this weird, you know, like I don't know. He's just not my type of dude. And to this day, me and him are actually very close.
Yeah.
We talk about a lot of things, and he's one of my great friends from work. So I mean, that's where I'm like, damn, I gotta stop doing that because that closes me off to so many opportunities. But because of the fact that I'm forced to work with this guy almost every day, I had to
Yeah.
get to know him, and now I'm like, damn, this guy's actually fucking cool, you know. So
I agree. Yeah.
I think it's for me. I'm like, I gotta start being more open and with how I perceive people.
Yeah. To your point, I believe that this whole situation, judging a book by its cover, is a lot more complex than what people think. It's not as simple as being black and white and in bold. And we can look at your and I's relationship too, because you're borderline atheist.
Yeah.
In reality, you're a borderline atheist. You believe in a God, but you don't really buy into the narrative of God and Jesus. So a Christian would label you as an atheist. We'll put you at that.
Yeah.
Me labeling you, I would put you as an atheist, technically speaking.
Yeah.
So look at we're best friends and we've been friends for a very long time. And in the beginning, I did not like you, right? So I did not like you.
Yeah.
But we've learned to appreciate each other along the way. So I did judge you based off of your cover, but eventually we understood that there was a lot more in common rather than not. More so, we both are very truthful to each other, and I think that's what really drew us together. But what I want to say is that that does not happen often. Like I
Mm.
don't like the majority of my relationships come through the people that I judge after the book of judge the cover of the book, and I see like this person I think would fit great in my life, and they're going to be constructive, and they conduct themselves in a way that I would like to be, and so yeah, that's my stance on it. At the end of the day, I do see some of your arguments, and it's cool that you do agree with some of mine.
Yeah.
Um, let's let's hear y'all's opinions in the comment section because I'm very curious as to what y'all think about this because points have been made on both sides. What do you think generally you should do if y'all had an option, or what would you do?
Yeah, we want to hear that for sure. But just real quick, I do agree with a lot of what you said. For the record, I think it's best to try and be smart about what you judge and what you don't judge. I think
Yeah, that's
that'd be the
fair.
best way to go about it. But with that being said, yeah, let us know what you guys think. The next thing we're gonna talk about is tattoos. So,
Yeah.
I don't know if you do you want any tattoos or no.
So recently, my wife asked me yesterday. She
That's a
was
yes.
like,
You're thinking about it.
I'm leaning more towards no. So that's my answer, more towards no. But my wife asked me, she's like, "Isn't it crazy that you were thinking about getting a tattoo a few years back?" And that's an over exaggeration because I said one time to her like, "Oh, if I ever got a tattoo, it would have a very deep meaning of a quote that I once wrote." And so she took that around with it and said, "I want a tattoo," which is not the case. It was just like a like,
What
oh, that was,
what was the quote if you don't mind us
I
asking?
don't remember. I write
No,
so many.
such
Yeah.
an important quote, huh? You don't remember?
Well, because I kind of like eliminated that idea of even getting a tattoo. So I was like, yeah, whatever. It had something to do with time. I know that for sure. Because I
Yeah.
wanted to get one of those sand.
The timers, yeah.
Yeah. So I wanted to get that with the tattoo. Anyways, um, I don't hate tattoos. I'm not against them. I'm very, I guess you can say scared. I'm very afraid of putting something permanent on myself and me regretting it. Or I don't know, dude. It's just something about that's it's just so permanent about it that kind of turns me off.
No, yeah. I actually really like the way tattoos look when they're done well. When they're like
Yeah.
an actual art piece going up your arm.
Yeah.
I think that
Sleeves.
looks very cool. Most people don't get them right. Like they'll just do a bunch of random tattoos that are
Yeah.
like some look like scribbles, some are nice, and then some are
Yeah.
because they get different artists and they're different caliber drawings, and I just don't like that. Like if it
Some
was
of
like
them are like it's like a Jesus cross, and then you only live once over here. It's like
yeah,
what?
exactly. But when it's a whole complete art piece, I think it looks very nice. I would like to get tattoos, maybe. I've never really been one to care for them, but I wouldn't like if I don't know if you convinced me, I might do it. I just for me, it's not something that I crave. I think that's partly because my parents are so against it, especially my
Oh,
mom.
really?
Speaking
Oh.
about that, my brother recently got his first tattoo. He is 28 years old,
And
and
how'd your mom take that?
my mom freaked out basically. She was like, oh, you're not my son anymore, like why would you do,
Oh,
yeah, like it was bad, man,
wow.
like
That means a lot to her, man.
Nah, but the good thing is that it's been some time, some time passed, and now she looks at it, doesn't think about it twice, treats them like normal again. Just
Yeah.
everything's back to normal again. And now her new thing is, if you get another one, then we're really done.
Yeah.
But
Nah.
it's like no, if you accepted the first one, you're not gonna do shit about the second.
And just based off of what you've said in the past, your mom freaking loves y'all unconditionally. She would never
Yeah,
do it. She would never
yeah,
actually disown y'all. But yeah, dude, they're cool, and I love to see them on other people, especially if they're done right.
uh huh.
I don't know. I'm a little afraid.
Well,
Uh,
what if you and I get one when I go down there? Like a matching one or something. What
That's so
what?
gay.
No 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 no. Listen to this, cause all right. For those of you that don't know, me and him are very huge gaming fans. If you
Yeah.
guys don't know who Hex and Temper are, they're just gaming legends basically. But what they did is they got the intervention right here, the
Oh yeah,
sniper.
I've seen it. I've seen it.
What if we do something like that?
I would have to hide it. It would have to be like on my tricep or something, high tricep.
Or
I don't know.
what do we do under the tongue? Or the lip, sorry.
You know what? I've had a couple of friends that have told me that I would look very good with tattoos because of my complexion.
Uh-huh.
They said like, yeah, dude, like you have very light skin, not too light, but you have light skin, and well, I have a little bit of muscle on me, so it'll look good.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, maybe, dude, but I don't know. I'm more than sure that I will not get a tattoo, and that's not a freaking hate crime versus tattoos. It's just I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't like you said. I don't have a craving for it. It's not a deep desire for me to get it, and so that's
20,
that.
20 likes and Roger and I will get
29.
a pair of tattoos. No, but
Hey, bro.
I'd be down to get one, like just for the fuck of it. But I would want to hide it too, just like you, like in the armpit or some shit.
What if I got Sino, you got AWOL right here in the lat?
Oh, speaking of that, that reminds me. A while back, I had bet him that Conor McGregor would lose in the fight, and
Yeah.
the bet was obviously you guys know Conor McGregor hasn't won a fight in years, so obviously he lost. Um, if Conor McGregor lost a fight, AWOL would do something embarrassing on the podcast. Wait, that's back when I didn't have a podcast, but I just talked about making the podcast. So now
I
that we
understand.
actually have it going, if you guys have any suggestions for what's something embarrassing he should do on the podcast, let me know because I can't think of anything, and he still owes me that. So I gotta think of something.
Shave my head on podcast.
Oh shit! And we didn't specify the limits on that. But obviously, I wouldn't do anything that you're not ask for anything that you're not comfortable with.
Hey, on the yeah, guys, freaking have at it. I don't care. Um, did I ever tell you about the story about? So before, I used to be strongly against tattoos,
Uh
just
huh.
because I thought that they looked unprofessional. Not against other people getting tattoos. I believe people should do whatever they want with their bodies. But me personally, I just I was like never gonna get a tattoo. Now I'm a little bit more open minded. But did I ever tell you about the story about my ex when she asked me about tattoos?
No, what happened?
When she had asked me, she's like, this was in the beginning phase where we're just kind of getting to know each other. And she's like, would you ever want tattoos? I'm like, no, like, absolutely not. And she's like, why? Bro, I messed up,
You're
dude.
like they're fucking ugly. I think they're trashy. And then
Yes, I
yeah.
trashed it, bro. I was like, no, they look so unprofessional, unpresentable, especially for like people that get them, like that you can visually see them like in their face or their, whatever it is, right? Like at the time I wanted to be in the business realm of like careers, right? And it's like if I want to present myself in a professional manner, then I need to look professional. And dude, are you kidding me? Her mom was tatted up, bro, from like the ankles to like her, everywhere, dude. She's like, are you saying that my mom's unprofessional? Like, I can't believe you would say things like that. She like totally took it out of context, right? Because I was talking about my personal, but I did kind of like,
I think they're trashy.
yeah,
All
dude.
that shit.
And so, dude, you could just imagine how I try to like backtrack what I said.
Yeah.
'Cause obviously, in the beginning phase, you don't want to like.
Nah, she set you up though, cause she should have
Yeah,
said, "Would you get any?" Because I don't know if you see my mom, but my mom's tatted up. She should have gave you some type of warning because that's a
yeah,
setup, bro. Especially
yeah.
because you were with her and she did she have any?
Nah.
No, yeah. Well, there you go. You were like, she doesn't have any. I'm safe. I think they're
Yeah.
fucking ugly, you know. Like you just went in on it. That's kind of she kind of set you up on that one, bro.
Yeah, dude.
But yeah, fuck, I don't know. Maybe I'll get one day. As for now, I've never even thought of it. Like, it's never been a thought in my head.
I would be down most definitely to get like a matching tattoo with someone. Like if you and I got a matching tattoo, that I think that
Yeah,
would be the most compelling way for me to get a tattoo. Is like, let's say you and I had like, because for those that don't know, Saul would be coming to Texas. The goal is for him and I to meet every year, just to hang out. And
yeah,
hopefully I can go over there, or we're planning to go somewhere else. Let's say we had like this freaking crazy experience and we went to like some state and a spontaneous moment came about and we're like, dude, there's a freaking tattoo parlor right there. Let's get some tattoos. Like, you got to remember
yeah,
this moment.
yeah,
Or a near death experience and we're coming out. You know what I mean? Like something exponential.
yeah. That's what it would have to be for me too. Something significant. It can't just be like, I think this would look cool. You know, it would
Yeah,
have to mean something.
for sure.
But
Like,
does your family have tattoos?
yes. So,
Your
yeah,
dad? Your dad?
yeah, dude.
Oh
That's crazy.
wow.
I was talking to my wife the other day. My dad is tattooed, sleeved up, chest, his stomach area, everything. My brother, same thing. He's sleeved up and everything. And I was talking to my wife because I was telling her like I'm my dad's favorite. Like it's a known thing in my family that my dad favors me out of all the kid, my brother and sister. But I'm actually the more opposite one of my dad. I'm very outspoken, outgoing person. I speak my mind. My dad's he's very conservative, but he's also he's a very quiet, shy guy in public. I'm not. He expresses himself with his bodies, with tattoos and stuff like that. He's real big into guns. I don't own a gun. I do often, you know, mess around with weapons, shooting, hunting. He's into more like outdoors things. I'm not, obviously. I have a podcast, like I express myself in this way, gamer, whatever it is.
Yeah, yeah,
But but my brother, he values the materialistic things like vehicles and stuff like that. I'm a minimalist when it comes to that stuff. Takes me from point A to point B. I can care less. My brother's exactly like him, bro. They have similar trucks, similar tattoos. Their interests are very similar, but like my dad, like whenever I go over, whenever we communicate, it's like he lights up and people can tell it. I told my wife, I was like, why do you think that is? Do you think that maybe I'm presenting myself in a way that my dad wish he could? Or do you think just because I'm his firstborn? Because that could be a that's a point of contention too, because I think people are more attached with their firstborn because that's their first child and they're more
yeah,
you know what I mean? They pay more attention to them. They're more careful. When the second child comes, like, oh, I've done this before. I'm a little bit more,
yeah.
you know,
I would
I don't know.
disagree. I would disagree with that because in my family, I'm the favorite and I'm the youngest, and I think I'm
Yeah.
the favorite because I'm the youngest because I'm the baby. You know, I think
Yes.
they treat me with more care and more you know.
There are a lot of situations like that too. So that can
Yeah,
combat
but with that
that
being
attention.
said, I think that your dad favors you because he sees a side of himself that he doesn't show, but that's what you show. You
That's what
know,
I was
so
saying.
I
Yeah.
think your dad likes the fact that you are a side of him that he doesn't let people see, and you're just that's just who you are. You know,
Yeah.
and I
I
think that's what
agree.
he likes about it. What'd your wife say about it?
She thought both were correct. She said that, oh, maybe it is because you are the firstborn, and maybe it's because he sees like that bravery in you. Because
Hmm.
in reality, it's probably like a fear because he's bad at public speaking. Like he's one of those guys that will like choke up his words in
Yeah,
public, and I'm not. I mean, I've been in front of churches, I've given lectures to kids and stuff like that, and I'm a very well Well, I would like to think. Maybe people would have other opinions, but I think I carry myself very well in front of a public setting, and so maybe that's a fear of his that he's always wanted to overcome, and he sees that and he's like, "Dang, that's admirable. That's brave."
Yeah, that's probably what it is, to be honest with you.
Maybe
And you're a junior, so that helps.
that does help.
What does Sarah, your wife, think about tattoos? Would she support you if you get some, or
Yeah, she doesn't like it. She doesn't like the idea, but at the end of the day,
she's not gonna tell you what to do?
she's a supportive wife. At the end of the
Yeah,
day, I mean, she's not
yeah,
gonna divorce me for it. It's not like
I
she
would.
doesn't like them though. She doesn't think they're nice at all.
Uh, yeah. All right, well, that's gonna do it for this episode, guys. Again, 20 likes, we'll get matching tattoos. In the last video, we had asked for, I forgot how many comments and likes to shave our heads bald. Make sure you guys comment what you guys want AWOL or Roger to do in the podcast. That's embarrassing. Maybe you guys want him to shave his head. That could be it. You would do that on the podcast? You would shave your head?
I guess I just want it to be more meaningful if I'm gonna do it, but I mean, I'll do it. I mean,
Okay, well, there you go. He said yes. So,
you know
if,
what I mean? Like, I would much rather for us to hit a milestone of subscribers or likes for us to do it.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like, for instance, if this podcast hit 100 subscribers by August, I'll shave my head. I would much rather it be like that. So we'll leave shaving off the head off the table. It's not that I don't want to, or not that I'm not willing to,
You want to save
but
it?
we need a higher stakes for that.
Okay.
So think of
Well,
something else.
yeah, comment something else, whatever you guys want him to do. Maybe you want him to fucking wear a thong. Maybe that could be it. I don't know. Surprises.
Yeah.
Like always, comment would you rather's. Well, the last one we did was Stevan, so thank you, Stevan, for that. And that's gonna be it for this episode, guys. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Bye bye, guys.